Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell. I promise you will not be disappointed. Okay, so let's jump straight into what I'm talking about in the thumbnail and the title. This situation has been going on for a while before I even knew what was going on. At the time, it's now almost July, and I'm just talking about it now because I was told in the beginning, even though they couldn't tell me what to do, it was best if I don't speak on the situation right then. However, I haven't gotten a response back since January. So I'm just going to go ahead and share my story, and hopefully this will help other YouTubers or anybody else out there when it comes down to sharing our content and being a content creator. Okay, so back, pause, hold up just a second, gotta go get the evidence. Okay, so back in January, I got this call from a Mount Pleasant number. Um, I wasn't sure on who this person was, and they were calling um close to 7, like close to 8 o'clock. And at that time, y'all, I'm in my bed. So I'm like, who's calling me this time of night? I don't care if it's still light outside. Who is calling me this time of night? So I was like, I don't know anybody in Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant is about 45 minutes to an hour away from here. I haven't been to Mount Pleasant. Well, of course, I had to go in January, but I haven't. The only reason why I go to Mount Pleasant is to go to Isle of Palms. I haven't been to Isle of Palms in years, so I don't have any business in Mount Pleasant. So I'm like, who is this? Don't know, whatever. I guess I'll answer. So I answered the phone, and it's a detective. And I'm like, hello? And she was like, is this blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, who is this? And she was like, well, this is Detective so-and-so. I am a detective here at Mount Pleasant Police Department. I deal with fraud and this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, okay, sis, like, why are you calling me? So she's like, well, your name has come across in my investigation. And I'm just like, okay. And so I'm in my mind, my mind is always running anyway, so my anxiety spiked like 1,000. So I'm like, okay. So she went on to tell me, make like a super long story short, she went on to tell me that my name, my first and last name, was given to this man that found some fraudulent charges, well, found a fraudulent charge on his card. Okay, so let me start from the beginning with the story. So she's on the phone telling me, basically in a nutshell, this man, he was notified by his bank that there was an unknown something that's not in his habit of buying. It was a Shein purchase. So they contacted him about the Shein purchase because they know, he's an older man and he doesn't make those type of purchases. So he was notified. Okay, so I'm sorry if I'm like all over the place. I'm just getting back into this recording thing, so excuse me. So once he got the number attached to the charge, he called the number. The person gave my first and last name. Okay, so from my understanding, I don't think I've ever shared my first and last name here on YouTube. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. I don't know. I have over 200 videos. I don't know what I done said over these past 4 or 5 years. Okay, so the person gave my first and last name. They did some investigating. He turned it in. They looked me up on Facebook. Of course, I popped up. Now I don't know how many people out there with my name, but I know it's more than just me. But whatever. And of course, I share my content on my Facebook with my Facebook friends. So of course, when the detective looked me up, I had nothing but Shein hauls on my page. So ding, 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 ding. They think it's me. No, ma'am. So I'm like, okay. And at one point, I had to stop her. I'm like, are you serious? Is this real? And she was like, unfortunately, yes. So she sent me, let's see if I can find it. Hold on just a second. Okay, so this is, and it wasn't almost 8 o'clock, it was almost 7 when she called me. But she sent me, this was Thursday, January 21st. Okay. And she gave me her her detective name, the address, and her card on here to know that she was legit. I'm like, okay. So she goes on to say I need to come down to the station to make a report, you know, to basically clear my name. And she's like, well, you know, I instantly knew it was you because I've been on your Facebook, I've been on your YouTube, I've been watching your videos, and you seem like a really nice person that wouldn't do something like this. So, you know, it's best if you know, come down, clear your name, whatever, whatever. And what I did like about this detective is that she was not accusatory at all. We was just having a conversation. She was just asking me general questions. I guess that's her tactic, but she was very good at her job. I did not feel attacked, and I didn't feel like she was blaming me or automatically thought it was me, because she said she was already researching my voice and all that good stuff on my page. So there's that. So my mind is like blown at this point. As soon as I hung up that phone with her, I'm like out loud, I gotta call my mama. So I called my mom. I told her about it. She's like, yeah, something about this just don't seem right. I'm like, I know. My mind is spinning, spinning, spinning. I called one of my homegirls at the time, called my best friend. We end up on three-way. We all trying to figure out who this person could be. Okay. So while I was on the phone with the detective and I was letting her know, like, okay, I don't think I've ever shared my first and last name on YouTube. And also, I don't think I don't know who would do this. And she was like, well, I honestly think that it's someone that's following you on social media, someone that's following me either on YouTube or on Facebook as well, to know my first and last name like that. So I'm just like, okay. So to me, I'm taking it as a personal attack, because why would you do that to me? I work around people's social security numbers, credit card numbers, all that all day long. And I do not want my name to be associated with anything like that, because now you're messing with my livelihood. So that's why I took it as a direct attack on me. Like, what are you trying to do? You're taking food out of my mouth. Like, you're stopping my bills. If this would have blown out of proportion and I would have gotten into some serious trouble about this. So that's where my mind is going. That night I didn't want to sleep in this apartment by myself. I was by myself that night. I did not want to be by myself. My best friend was like, I'll come over. But I'm like, you know what? No, I'll be fine. But I was legit scared because I felt as though it was a target on my back that somebody would do this to me. Like, why would you do that to me? But so, yeah, so man, my dad must have known that his baby girl was tripping, because he sent me a text. He's like, everything's gonna be okay, X, Y, and Z. I was really up like all night thinking, what the F is going on? So, okay, so I called out the next day. Me and my dad went down. My mom could not go with me, so me and my dad went down there to the police department. When I first of all, let's back it on up, because I did my own research on Homegirl. I'm like, oh, you looking me up on YouTube? You look at me? I'm about to go look you up. So I did go look this detective up. I looked at her history, her credentials and everything. I'm like, okay, she's legit. Let the internet tell it. She's the best to do it in the fraud department. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't have nothing to worry about, because I know I didn't do it. But at the end of the day, I still feel like this is a direct attack on me. And who would do this? When me and my friends was on the line, we had a couple people in mind. It didn't work, sis. It didn't work. But anyway, so me and my dad went down there. I'm still super nervous. When we go see her, she's a pretty little lady, you know, pretty little detective. I'm like, okay. So we went in the room. She starts telling me basically the whole story again, how they got my name, what the person said when he called. But when she called the number, nobody answered. So they call first of all, she called me first before she even called her number. I'm like, homegirl, why you calling me? But anything to clear my name. So she was like, well, what I want you to do is put this number in your phone to see if it comes within your contact. Now, mind you, when people be on Facebook saying that, or social media saying that they keep their circle small, X, Y, and Z, that applies to me. I have my sisters and my best friend and a couple other friends, and count them on one hand, not even friends, but count them on one hand, people that I really talk to like that. So I don't have a lot of contacts in my phone. My name is not in a lot of people contacts. I just don't I don't have a whole bunch of friends. I do not. I don't deal with a whole bunch of people. I just don't. That's just who I am. So I'm like, okay, so I put the number in. I wanted see my mind was so tapped. I didn't remember the number. But she's like, okay, now I want you to erase that number out your phone. I'm just okay, I erased it. And I cannot remember that number for nothing. But thank God. So we're doing all this and we're talking. And I had a whole bunch of questions for homegirl too. Oh, I wrote down some questions for her. Let's see if I can find it. But I was not playing. But this right here is my statement that I had to make. She was like, be very detailed, X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, say less. Say less. So this was on, this the date on here, 122. Yes, this was on 1/22/2020. And come to find out, this has been going on since, this has been going, oh shoot. This has been going on since November 2020. Okay, so apparently the man, okay, so y'all might see my first and last name, but that's Mount Pleasant Police Department with the date on it. So, dang, what was I saying? Oh, brain farmed. I don't know, but so when I went there, it was telling and okay, so apparently the man, he went to like a Dunkin' Donuts or something like that that was attached to a gas station. The guy who rung him up, he was like, oh, well, the card machine's up here is not working, so I have to take it to the back. So he just remembered like that was the only time his car was really out of his possession. We don't know if that guy took a picture of his card, sent it to his girlfriend, so his girlfriend could do some shopping. Don't know. Once again, I don't know who this person was. And she keeps telling me that I don't think it's a personal attack. I said, ma'am, it is. Because you're messing with me. Like, don't do that. So I give my statement. We sit down and talk. She was very chill. She was like from New Jersey and New York. She had real, her accent. She was dropping a couple, curse words here and there. I'm like, okay, she cool. She cool. But yes, and I also was told that I gotta see if I can find these questions. I also was told that I would, oh, and this was her, I wrote it down right here. That was her information that I had to get down. But anyway, I had some questions for her that I wanted to ask. Cause I'm like, sis, what's going on? Questions that, she already had previously answered, but I just wanted to be sure that I had these questions for her. Cause I'm like, you're investigating me, boo. I got some questions for that ass. But she was very nice. She was really nice. I cannot find these questions. Questions for detective. Stop playing. Stop playing. So one of my questions was, have you located this person who did this? And that question, of course, was no. The person did not answer the calls. When she did call the number, the person did not answer. And I was like, was there an address given on the order? There was no address given on the order, just a number. And with Shein, I don't think they really have a customer service that you can call. But I'm not entirely sure because I never had to send anything back or had any problems with customer service. So I never had to call a number or anything. So I'm not sure. If you know, go ahead and leave it down in the comments down below because I don't know. And how long was this going on? It was going on since November 2020. They just contacted me in January. And I was like, am I able to discuss this with others? And at the time, of course, she told me no. But it's been how many months now? So I decided that I wanted to tell my story. And how often does this happen? Of course, it all happens all the freaking time with people using other people's name. It's like, get a job and get a life. Stop using other people's name and do better with your life. Like, I was always taught, if you don't have the money for it, keep it pushing. Don't touch nothing when you go in the store. No. So I just really don't understand how people can just use other people's information and just think it's okay. Think it's okay. I don't like that. So I also asked her what's the motive behind someone that would do this, and she really did not have a answer for me. And I don't have an answer to give y'all. I don't know why this person did what they did. Just off the rip, you give my first and last name, but what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Something wrong with you. And if you are watching this video, your tactics did not work. Um, I'm covered by the blood of Jesus from the top of my head to my toes. Okay, so whatever you were trying to do, whether it was a personal attack or you was just trying to get you some free clothes, um, it didn't work. Get a job and get a life. Let's keep it pushing. So and I did ask if I could press charges on this person, and she was like, if I do, I would have to do it in my county instead of the Mount Pleasant department, you know, that area. So yeah, and so I don't know if this message is going to help anyone, but just please stay on your toes, stay on your P's and Q's when it comes down to putting your name and your business out there. And I know it's hard because we're content creators. This is what we do. We want to show you guys, you know, what we're doing. For whatever reason, we want to put it out there, and then there's people on the other hand that's just using people's name, using people's credit cards. And what really took me over the edge, honey, is when I asked, okay, so how much did this person spend for it to be alerted? You know, but I do commend the, no matter what the how much it is, I do commend banks and all that to notify the person when it's not a likely charge for them on their card. But I was like, okay, so there must be a ridiculous amount of money that this person is trying to spend on clothes when you're using someone else's credit card. So she was like, oh, it was $50. You trying to risk it for $50? $50? Boo. I was very offended. I'm like, because when I do my hauls, I spend money. I might be using quad pay, I have to pay, but I'm spending the money. So don't attach my name to no little TT. No, don't do that. Don't do that. So yes, that's my story on possible credit card fraud. I don't even know what you want to call it. Someone used my name. I felt like it's a personal attack. I still feel as though it's a personal attack. But like I said, I don't know who did it. But it didn't work. So I don't know what to tell you, sis. I don't know what to tell you. It didn't work. And as you can see, I did. And that did kind of slow me down. Because at the time, I was like, you know what? I was going to delete all my videos, delete my Facebook. I was just going to go ghost on social media altogether. And it was like, my sister, I think it was my sister that told me, she was like, don't do that because that's what they want you to do. You know, so I was like, okay, so that's why I slowed down on the hauls. Well, one of the reasons why I slowed down on my hauls, because I used to do Shein hauls like all the time. If you go on my page, you're going to see more Shein videos than anything else, any other haul videos. So that's what really kind of, excuse me, slowed me down on that process. But yeah, just be careful what all we put out there. I know we want to share on every platform to get our videos out there, to, you know, get our numbers up, but sometimes it's just like when you stuff like this happens, it's like, okay, what can I do, what can I not do? Like, I don't know. But anyway, I don't want to keep you guys too long. So that was my story. I hope that I helped someone out with this information. If I did, go ahead and hit the like button, um and comment down below if you ever went through anything like this, or if you know any other content creators that goes through things like this. I know content creators go through a lot with people stealing their pages, stealing their names, stealing their Instagram, all kind of good stuff, well, all kind of bad stuff. So yeah, but that's all I wanted to say, y'all. I'm sorry this video was kind of boring or all over the place or whatever, but I'm just trying to ease back into this YouTube thing, okay? All right, so remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and remember, love it or leave it.